Hi, everyone. Welcome to another transmission with the Unity Frequency Council. Thank you for joining us. Unity Frequency Council, is it okay if we start with a question today?
Yes.
I realize that many are also in different stages of the awakening and maybe struggling as well with accepting power, or maybe they're seeing things from past lives and looking into shadow things. Is there something that we can do or reflect upon to help us be more accepting of ourselves and be more authentic? I find that I'm having a hard time being authentic because survival things keep getting in the way, and it's a bit overcoming it is taking longer than I would like. And I figure maybe I'm not the only one who is having this. So I was wondering if you had anything helpful for us on this topic.
This does seem like it's a part of the larger picture, yes. There's a lot that's coming up now. This is on purpose. So you asked quite a question, but if I can say it in this way, that yes, there is a purpose. However, many of the things that you are holding on to are because of that human conditioning. Even this past life energy that many people bring up and discuss, they see it as a reflection of what they are supposed to be now. This is inaccurate. The only reason why you are hanging on to it is because you feel that identity within that. It's not meant to leave a permanent imprint in that way. It's simply in your files, if I can say, for you to observe. It's not meant to steer you in any particular direction. And it certainly doesn't leave an imprint that should hold you from anything or even direct you towards anything. I can understand that right now is very confusing because it's all coming to the surface. It's not in anything except for that human collective level. And it's coming up to the surface because that is what you've chosen to do. All of these disruptions in your fields are causing the bottom layers to come up. So it almost seems overwhelming at this time. So do not, from what you said, you are having trouble holding on. It is not you that is holding on, it is a collective that is holding on. Does this make more sense?
General, I think a lot of people are likely trying to change habits and how they care for themselves, what they eat, these types of things. Do you have anything that may be helpful for them as they're trying to adjust these types of habits and ways that they treat or feed themselves as a result to some of these energies that they're working through?
Listen to yourself instead of listening to others. There is no reason for forgiveness. Sounds rough to say it, but that is actually more of a human concept because,
Human, yeah, needing for, I've come to that realization for some time that
yes, there is
that
no need
forgiveness
to
is
ask for
the
forgiveness
forgiveness.
because
There's
it's
no,
already there. There
yeah,
is
there's nothing,
no void to fill.
nothing for everything. Your being is already perfect. The things you do are already perfect. There's no reason to need forgiveness, because even if there's perceived injury to someone else, it's okay. It was, there's nothing wrong. That was an experience that both of you had, and
Yes,
it's
it's both
fine.
of your involvement and evolvement
Involved,
through that
yeah.
experience.
And so
Forgiveness
there's
is that
nothing to
human concept.
apologize for. Yeah. No, it's
It's valuable. Don't get me wrong, it is very valuable, but there is no reason to stop and ask for forgiveness because most of the problem is that everyone feels they must wait for forgiveness. I digress. I have to say that this has been a difficult road. Humans, it seems, can be very challenging. While I can see the beauty in the human experience, the value in the human experience, they don't like to let go of things that they understand. Doesn't mean that you must need them. But if you're wanting to stay in the same place, yes, you need them. Sometimes a part of you is saying, I want to stay in the same place. So I will hold this. There's nothing wrong in that. I'll remind you that you're not just this single incarnation in this particular time. You're experiencing the flow of movement from many different times and many different incarnations at this moment. This is a part of the convergence of the timelines. So this
Is there a way that we
feeling
can
of
like,
chaos is difficult.
is there like something to help us navigate that? I mean, or like know what's important to pay attention to, or because like sometimes I'm like, I'm
Well,
not really losing my mind though. I'm just seeing the truth of existence. And
what's happening is that your mind is perceiving more than it typically had in the past. So if you can understand blending together different options, different truths, different illusions, different timelines, different thoughts, different belief systems, they are, if you can understand them merging together and you're becoming more aware of them at the same time, it's very difficult for a human brain to compute that.
yes, it is.
So while most of you have been very comfortable in your bubbles, in your own reality, again, I'll repeat that you are creating your reality. If you can understand that suddenly pushing those realities together, that your brain is more aware of them because how can I say, you're sharing. If you share the field and suddenly there is all this information involved, your brain simply cannot compute that at the same time. It feels like you are losing your mind. It feels like you're changing your mind. It feels more like the symptoms of what you would say anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It's very challenging for the human brain. Therefore, what you would say is your animal body is responding to that. This doesn't mean that you're meant to understand each one of these bits of information. You're just supposed to choose your reality in that moment, choosing what is real for you and what is not, rather than gripping onto everything becoming real. Your reality is still your reality, even if you're sharing it with someone else. You're still individuals. You still have that choice. You're still creating everything that's in front of you and everything that's within you. It's just a matter of having to understand going through this time while your human brain is trying to understand this information. From what I can see, that is a very challenging thing.
How like is doing nervous system things, just continuing to be present? How do we navigate that?
Yes,
It's
I
something
would
that
ask
we've
you to
continued
focus
to.
on the creation of your reality, yours. Part of the human experience is experiencing the separation. One of my goals is to help you understand that you are not, in fact, separate from anything. But during this time, during this, what you would say a convergence of all of this, it is important for you to understand your role in your reality. So if you feel that taking care of the body in that way and regulation is important, that is a part of your reality. That will not fail. because that's what you are choosing to participate in. That's what you are choosing as your reality. If you were to say, in this situation, choose that you are always dysregulated and you must continue to fight by forcing it regulation, that's a different thing. Do you see? That is a completely different vibration.
Yes.
If you are
Yeah.
choosing that, all right, my belief system that I want to hang on to is worthiness. I am choosing worthiness because I feel worthy. I deem myself worthy of whatever it is they may be. That's what you are choosing. However, if on the other side you are feeling that I must continue to prove my worthiness, I will show my worthiness, I will do this and feel my worthiness, that's a different vibration. If I am choosing, again, I will say peace. My reality will show me nothing but peace. If I am choosing to believe that I will struggle, I will suffer, the world is full of violence, I will see nothing but violence, whether I'm participating or not. Because simply, that is what I'm hanging on to. So that is why, in this larger scale of convergence, it feels like reality isn't reality anymore. Many people are struggling to hang on to what they feel is their reality. They understand putting money in the bank at a certain time, and then that number does not change. And then I will go and I will buy food. The food will cost the same amount every time. I will eat this and it will taste the same every time. If this happens, that there is this punishment. If that happens, there is this reward. People are choosing to hang on to that. And these are based on older belief systems, older power structures, which continues to keep them alive. But if I can tell you that there is more on the other side of the fence because it's forced to fall away, those people are having a harder time. So when you say, what can I do? Right now, it needs to be the time to allow and choose. Does not mean that choosing the older systems is wrong, because if that is what you choose to hold on to, then that is there for you. I hope that makes sense.
On some level, it does. It sounds like difficult to implement, I suppose, even though I know that I need to just notice what I'm choosing and allow myself to make other choices in the direction that I would like to go.
Excellent point. To be said to everyone, notice what you are choosing. That doesn't mean judging what you are choosing. That doesn't mean analyzing what you are choosing. Simply notice what you are choosing.
And then if I don't want to continue to make that choice, to just choose another option.
I will say, at least for now, that is the step I would ask everyone to take, is just simply noticing. I can't expect, say, a tidal wave of change while your brains are still trying to understand what's going on, trying to grip on. So at least in step one, notice without judgment. That's a hard enough thing to ask in general, for people to notice without judgment.
Definitely. Yeah.
So just notice, and just understand that you've made that choice for some sort of reason. You don't need to know the reason, you don't need to analyze, but just notice what you have chosen. That in itself helps expand.
It brings me to the next kind of question here, which is people talk about like the new earth or creating, the new way for humanity. Um, and it brings me to the saying, be the change you want to see. Is that part of how, as humanity, to move forward towards what peace or some more new structures, right? Creating the new structures and stuff. Was that?
Hmm. I suppose, although it's very interesting to me, these terms of new earth and new humanity, because you are already on a new earth. It's interesting that you feel that you must wait to achieve this new earth. You are on a new earth. The vibration of the earth is different than it was even 2 months ago. Humanity's vibration is different than it was yesterday. That's just the nature of how this works. But I suppose I will use your concept of the commonly understood new earth. I assume you mean the ideal place of harmony, peace, brand new structures, rebuilt. I assume that's
That's,
what you mean.
I mean, that's what I don't even know too much about it. It's just something I kind of see around and people talk about, and I'm kind of like, oh,
These
it's
are
just,
terms that are brought about over and
yeah,
over, yes.
yeah.
But the harm about that is continuing to speak about it in that way makes the assumption that the new earth is not immediately available to you, that it's something you must wait for and you must rebuild. That is inaccurate. In truth, as I have said, new earth is available to you in this very moment. It's just you aren't aware of it because not everyone has actually chosen it. During this moment of the convergence of all of these timelines and belief systems and different energy fields shifting, you're feeling everyone. So you're not aware of this new earth. If you were to choose it immediately, as you have said, be the change, you would already be experiencing the new earth. It is those who deem the new earth to be some sort of dream that we all must work to achieve, and then hopefully it will happen, or it is coming when this happens, or after this happens, or if this will go away. That is not achieving the new earth. That is putting yourself in a pattern of waiting for the new earth. So if I can answer that with a yes, you are correct. If you were yourself choose to live in the new earth in this moment and you're participating and being the new earth, the new humanity, then you will already be experiencing that because
Oh,
your reality will be that peaceful, harmonious place. The goal for you then in that moment will be to be aware of it and to share that energy.
okay.
I hope
I
that
think
difference is understandable. This is not something that's going to be achieved on this large collective level on a certain date at a certain time after this happens, after that happens. That's not what it is. It's each individual choosing it and becoming it. And then you realize that, yes, we all are all participating in the new earth. It's not going to be brought to you. I see many people say that it's going to be brought to them by new technologies and new understandings and new wisdom. No, it is not. You are creating it. That's what humanity has chosen.
and it starts with one person at a time.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think I can wrap my head around that to make the choice to be in the new earth.
Yes, you can. You can experience it in this moment if that's what you desired.
Interesting. Thank you very much. I think that's really helpful. I'll
My
definitely
hopes is it
put
will
that.
be. It seems, while I understand it, it seems a bit damaging to repeat that the new Earth is coming. My goal is to try to explain what you are doing is shifting into higher frequencies. But I would like to make sure that in my explanation, I am not giving you any inclination that you cannot already be in that higher frequency. It's just on the collective level, you are shifting into a higher frequency. You already have been, and within the last, say, 20 years, it has shifted tremendously. But as a goal, you are all lifting each other into the higher frequencies, and that's why this feels difficult. That's why it feels more chaotic. But I do not mean to say this is on any particular timeline. Oh, in 18 months you will have this, or oh, that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you can yourself go into a higher frequency at any given moment. That's how this quote new earth is birthed. Each one of you can already be experiencing that. It's just that it seems that humans like to wait for one another. If they do it, then I can do it. If I see that done over there, that must mean that I can. It seems like a waste to me.
Yeah, it's humanity is a very interesting
It's very
experience, that's
interesting,
for
and I don't
sure.
mean to say that
Yeah.
humanity is not amazing and beautiful. Even in its lower frequencies, it's still amazing, it's still beautiful, it's still such a valuable experience to have as a soul.
It's just, yeah. Thank you. No, I think that actually will give people something to go on. It definitely gives me something. I feel much more hopeful and like I have a better direction now than when I did earlier. So that's great. Thank you so much.
As long as it's commonly understood that every single person has that choice. You're not waiting on anyone. You're not waiting for a certain time. I see many people are waiting for even someone to, I see it almost looks like I'm waiting for someone to drop out of the sky and give us the answers. That's not going to happen in the way that you're expecting it to be. There are higher frequencies available to everyone because you are a part of a higher frequency. It's not only certain individuals that can see or hear or experience that. It's not waiting for some mass understanding that will happen if you have chosen that particular timeline. It will happen. Many people won't even notice. While I appreciate humanity doing things together, I appreciate that they make these choices together. They follow their own societal rules and they like being a part of these structures. It's very interesting to be a part of it. It's a large part of what slows each of you down.
I can see that for sure.
If
Definitely.
you are waiting for someone else to tell you that it's all right or someone else to show you that it's possible, doesn't that seem like a waste of time?
Yeah, I think that some people may not even be aware that they're doing it, waiting,
Correct.
right?
Most
Like
people
that's
don't.
totally even that's something to reflect on for myself, how I may be doing that myself. So thank you.
You do. It's fine. Again, it's just a part of the human construct of the structures that you have in place. That's fine. That's experiencing a human life. That's experiencing the human collective. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that if you're asking how to get out of these boxes, this is a part of it. Because I must tell you that not all of these boxes are going to stay as you collectively move up in frequency. And I would hope that I can instruct this in a way to preserve, how can I say, your minds and almost give you a more comfortable step rather than some things just being suddenly stripped away from you.
I hear you. I think most people would prefer to make movements comfortably.
Yes, it's much more comfortable to step out of the cage rather than be ripped out of it. My hope is more of an empowerment, help you step up instead of being forced up. Although it does seem that there is at least a certain amount of your population that are choosing to stay in a lower frequency. But I can't imagine that they would even find this conversation.
Yeah, I hear you. My next question, I think, would be what is it to be authentic? We talked a little about expression earlier. And so what is people talk about being authentic? Um,
Hmm.
and I know sometimes I'm, you know, what what is that? It's many people are still discovering, awakening, discovering who they really are. And so what is authentic expression, I suppose, from your perspective?
Interesting, because that feels like a very human concept as well.
Oh,
From my
definitely.
perspective, I can't imagine what non-authenticity is. Well, I will try this on for a size for a moment here. It's tough to say that any of you are not being authentic if all of you are speaking from your own perspective and individuality. So, on the same side, is that all non-authentic? In my very simple explanation, the only thing I will say about being inauthentic is if you feel that you are betraying yourself, say, I want to be doing this, this feels good for me, this feels as if I should say this or do this, this is my path. If that's a true feeling from within yourself and you're betraying it, that's the only explanation I can come up with is inauthentic. But what you are saying, no, that is not being inauthentic. That's understanding that sort of expression. I will maybe, if I can, correct you and say it's these programs and these belief systems and this is childhood experience that are suppressing my authenticity. That would be incorrect. What your mind is choosing to do is calling it suppression when your soul is just sitting there being interested in all of these experiences. If I had this experience throughout this childhood, how can I continue to be myself? Let me file that information away and let me learn and evolve through that. That's not being inauthentic because nothing has actually changed. Nothing has gone away. It's just a part of your soul's experience. That's authentic.
Interesting.
If
Okay.
you mean by true self, you mean as a soul, I can understand that because the majority of humans are only living, even say, showing 10% of their souls or listening to that pure aspect of what you understand. But no, there is no suppression. It's only listening to another part of yourself. It is listening to that human egoic part of yourself or listening to someone else or something like that. It's not being authentic. The soul is happy regardless, and it will not be ignored regardless. Even if that means your soul is choosing to experience a life of simple human experience, only focusing on human ego aspects and survival, there's no harm in that. That's what the soul is experiencing. There is no waste.
That's just a human concept and judgments, really. So
Yes,
that's no, that I
there
think
is a
that's
purpose still in all of it. There is a purpose
good.
in even some of the things you deem harmful to yourself. There's a purpose.
Thank you. That's, for sharing your perspective. It's interesting to apply that perspective as we're in the midst of it all, So
You are.
that's good.
You are. I do hope to provide some sort of comfort, an explanation as this time goes on, because while I may say it's a very exciting time for humanity, I can see that it doesn't feel exciting to the majority of you.
Sometimes there's periods of excitement. There's periods of, it's a very interesting time, that's for sure. So I think that you provide comfort and some help for us to perceive things in a different way and question and work on more radical acceptance and things like that. So, yeah, I really thank you.
May I correct you again and not
Hmm.
use the word radical, just the word acceptance?
Just the word acceptance. Okay.
To say radical implies it's a difficult thing to do, or more of an enormous or risky behavior when it's not.
Oh, depending on what human construct and belief system you're coming from, it can feel that way. Like thank you for correcting me though, because I appreciate that correction. Thank you.
I suppose I shouldn't say correction, I should say offer. Can I offer to you that no acceptance needs to be radical?
Accept it can just be pure acceptance, or does it
Yes.
even need something in front of it? Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not sure that you even need to use the word acceptance, but I understand that is a lot more healing in the human constructs to say acceptance.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Do you have any other messages or topics for today?
Hmm.
The
I
recording
do enjoy
segment.
the conversation. I did plan on saying a few things. I just wanted to acknowledge I was just showing something that your planet, understood as Saturn, has now shifted. And you may not actually consciously understand some of the effects from this, but I would like to at least tell you that your Saturn has shifted. And I understand that in your astrology, some of this may be reflected. You do not have the entire picture. Some of it may resonate with you, which is fine, but I only wanted to tell you that yes, it has. Therefore, you'll feel a bit more in the next few weeks. So do not be alarmed by this, because as you have discussed with me earlier, there is a lot that feels heavier and that feels like it's changing. If I can explain it in a way that it's almost like rippling out, more of like a pulsating effect, you'll feel the highs and lows. And I would just like you to understand that this is not you losing your mind. It almost may seem like everything is breaking down and then rebuilding and then breaking down and then rebuilding. I would like you to understand this is not a harmful experience. There will be a
Okay.
lot happening, yes, but as we discussed before, please allow yourself to observe without judgment and just let these things pass by.
And not claim them.
Do not claim them, correct?
Okay.
I would ask you to not anchor in some of these things within your beings and within your reality.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that in the last video, more on this topic, kind of conversation about anchoring in and all
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Well, because of this in particular movement, because again, this was, I'll say the word planned, but this is actually very beneficial to you. This will involve more coming up from the past, what you understand is the past. Before, when I was discussing this, I was talking about what's happening current, which is still true, but I must let you know that more will be coming up from past. That does not necessarily mean even in this particular lifetime, which is why I was saying to you before, it's almost like a frazzle to your brain of your brain trying to understand these things. You can't expect yourself to understand. There's going to be feelings or memories or discussions or issues that are coming up and you can't understand why. It seems like many of you will just say, oh, I'm having bad luck. That's not the case. It's just leaving. It's almost as if a crack in your earth is trying to breathe. That's what the energy is doing. That's why it's not going to be a consistent pace of, oh, all of this is happening. Why is all of this in my face? And why are all of these structures changing? I don't understand. And then there will be a moment of peacefulness or calm, and then it may happen again. If I can look at it
Interesting. Yeah.
in that way of just understanding that it's not you. You are simply being affected, and just let it pass. This is even more of a greater time to choose what you are hanging on to and what you are letting go of.
And what we're being affected by.
Yes. That's the only reason for me to even bring these types of things up. It seems that humans really appreciate explanations. And
Mm,
while your understanding of astrology, some of it is correct, it's just not telling you what's happening in that moment to moment to moment and how it's actually affecting you. It's the only reason why I'm bringing this up to explain to you that it is not you. What's happening on the collective level, you are being affected by. And not just collective level as human collective, I mean everything. And so if I can hopefully explain to you, hey, this particular planet is shifting. It may cause these effects for you. And if you understand that in your logical sense, you may be more inclined to let some things go.
definitely. Humans find that very helpful, for sure. Myself included. So thank you.
It does seem that you're experiencing a lot that's coming from, I will say, lower vibrations, but I don't mean that entirely. I mean also from the earth itself. If I can look at what seems like the field of energy, I guess I'll say it in that way, you're dealing with a lot coming up to the surface and up out from below. And that's again why I'm using the term past. Oh, it must be very interesting. But you're dealing with a lot of that now. And that's not going to come in one large tidal wave for you. But if you can just have that sort of understanding that this is just happening, it's nothing that you actually need to do about it. If anything, I would congratulate yourself on this level of healing within humanity and being a part of it. That may help.
Definitely. That's definitely a really nice way to look at it, you know? So thank you for the
And there may be
invitation to
very
change
interesting
of perspective.
revelations for you if you're open to them. How can a conscious human mind expect to have a healing experience of several hundred lifetimes at once? That is far too much for the conscious human mind to understand. But if you can accept that flow of energy, just allow it through you, you will feel much better.
The healing will be happening. We don't need to
Yes,
understand. Just know that
yes.
it's happening and allow it to flow.
Even if some of it may result in things that you don't appreciate. My car won't start. I tripped and fell. These are things that you don't necessarily want to experience, okay? But some of these may just be side effects for what's happening. That doesn't mean you need to call yourself and claim this bad luck. These are just side effects that may be happening and allow them to move on.
Great perspective shift. Thank you. Oh, it does anchored in mean? Or how do we know we're experiencing anchoring in correctly?
Well, I'm saying this in a way because as I was describing, your brain trying to compute all of these different things. And for you specifically, it seems that you're more aware. And so you tend to fracture things into different pieces rather than looking at that whole. So if one of those pieces, I see that, yes. Anchoring in that present moment, whatever that piece that you have. I am here. It is this time. It is this place. I am safe to be this. I am okay being this. I am comfortable being this.
Okay.
And then if you can work your way out into the whole, that larger plate, as every bit together, yes, I feel comfortable being the whole. I feel comfortable being this entire plate. I am safe to be this whole being. I am safe to express everything about this. You can work your way out to the whole plate. But again, some of this is just you feeling that collective, but it seems to be one of your ways of working with things that you separate things into pieces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's easier to
Okay.
handle in that way.
Yeah. I can understand it when it's a single piece.
Yes. I'm going to step aside now.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you, Unity Frequency Council, for all those insightful messages and perspective shares and helpful tips and comfort for us. We will see you next time. And thank you, viewers, for listening. Please ask questions and comment if you feel the desire. Also, maybe share. Have a great day.